So speaking of help, and I'm going to put a situation because there might be somebody out here who's in a situation where they actually have a substance abuse problem, or they actually have some mental health issues, or something they need to be getting help for.
Yeah.
So I'm going to propose a situation, and you speak to that person who might be out there in the viewership. So the situation is, we're in Tampa. So I'll say a college student who's in Tampa. They are having trouble figuring out what they want to major in, and having trouble forming those relationships that you were referring to, and the parents split up and they're kind of trying to go party to, kind of numb the pain and try to socialize, and
that happens a lot.
A little socially awkward. What advice would you give to them to get closer to their purpose and live a healthier lifestyle?
I can say the first thing that I know that they're going through is fear.
Okay.
It's fear. It's the fear of being labeled. It's a fear of not being understood. It's the fear of perhaps they're just not going to understand, or they're going to judge me. Fear incorporates a lot of things. Now, I'm going to propose something that you perhaps don't hear a lot of, and that is I want for some self-assessment or some self-evaluation to take place. For example, we've always heard since we were little, any of us who have been or raised up in the church, and that is a man dies because of a lack of understanding. So let's say, for example, if you're a person who are in this position to whereas you with substance abuse, or you are in a position to whereas things are being taken down in your life, you do want help, but you're afraid. There are things that are in your life that are taking place that help to put you down. And you first chose to look at a substance or an illegal substance or something that you thought that could give you euphoria to help you out of that situation or that funk. I want you to first look at the data that was put into your bank here.
Translation: were there unhealthy habits?
Unhealthy habits, unhealthy behaviors, unhealthy attitudes, unhealthy words that were placed into what we call long-term memory. And in that long-term memory, it would take something in order for that to be released from long-term memory. If you're tired and you want to do something differently in order to turn your life around, it really does mean that you would have to come to grips with understanding and looking at what caused you to take a hold of that substance in the beginning. And
back to the beginning. That makes
back
sense.
to the beginning. And it comes with you're having to understand that your parents, your grandparents, or whomever, they did the best that they understood. Okay? They did the best that they understood. Unfortunately, the best that they understood wasn't the best for you to be able to function efficiently or effectively in the world in which we live in. If you can look at yourself and understand that my brain was programmed that, but it doesn't mean that I have to always live with this, which is where the outside sources come into.
Okay, let me interrupt you there, because once I recognize that,
you have to recognize that.
It's recognizing that you actually have a problem.
Right.
And we'll get into the next step, and then we may have to post some of this because it's good information, but we don't want to put too much, because an attention span, the research says, people only pay attention for a certain amount of time. So we want them to actually visit the website, which is www.2020visionfilm.com, and get some of this information there as well. So the second step after we're aware would be what, and then we're going to make them stay tuned and go to that website, because I think we need to post something that is
You need to make a call.
Yeah.
You need to make a call, because it's not going to go away if you don't deal with it. I speak personally because I've dealt with very difficult situations. Instead of me going to a source to just help me cope, I went and got the proper care that I needed. I could have looked at some type of substance or illegal substance. I could have, but I elected to go a different route.
I tell you, and we do that so naturally and we're unaware of it. But the thing about your friend is, if they're suffering from the same problem you're suffering from, they're not gonna give you the advice that you need to do better. If that's your drinking buddy, all they're gonna do is say, go buy a drink. If that's your getting high buddy, they just say, let's go get high.
That's
So
someone with a low level of emotional intelligence you're
Right.
hooked up with.
Right.
So that's two people with a low emotional intelligence, or that's three people with a
Right.
low level of emotional intelligence. And you cannot get ahead when both of you are behind.
right. Ooh. Boy, that last one hit me, boy. That last one hit me, boy. And the thing is, we're not condemning anyone. I don't want anyone to feel condemned. You know,
I was there at one time.
yeah.
So I understand. I was there.
And everything is in moderation. I'm not gonna pretend like I don't have drinks. I don't do illegal substances. Let me put that on the record. But at the end of the day, it's a situation where people do things to relax, but when you have to overindulge to become uncoherent with the surrounding, that's a sign like, okay, like
Something is wrong.
I'm blacking out, you know what I'm saying? We turned up. What happened last night? You over here by the bathtub, you know what I'm saying?
Something is wrong. Your
And then you
emotions
see the
are out
remnants.
of whack.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's a beautiful place to stop and make them visit the website and make that phone call. We're gonna post a list online as far as what are some of the numbers, because sometimes people just need to know, where do I go? It's not
That's the
about,
first step.
yeah, you gotta step in the direction that you're trying to go. And for a lot of people, that first step is so scary. I remember when I was doing music, I was afraid to let people hear what was played.
Fear stops us from doing a lot of things.
You know, so I mean, I
Fear.
do understand that fear. Don't be afraid. Great information. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
All right.